Hi friends, today we are going to see the past year NEET questions for the chapter Anatomy of Flowering Plants, and today in this video we will cover part 2. Now let's begin with the first question here. The cells of the quiescent center are characterized by dash. So what do you mean by quiescent? It is simply termed as inactivity or dormancy. Okay, now what is the term in biology? It is a reversible state of a cell which does not divide but retains the ability to retain the cell proliferation. Some adult cells are maintained in quiescent state and can be rapidly activated when stimulated. So this is a common explanation for this. Now I said it's a zone of inactivity or dormancy, that is the cells are inactive form. The cells of the quiescent center have lower concentration of the genetic material. When I say genetic material, you have DNA and RNA, and also you'll also have some proteins. They are when compared to the other cells of the root apex. These cells will not divide, hence the cytoplasm is light and the nuclei will be small in them. This concept is based on the quiescent center theory, which was proposed by Claus in the year 1961. So what does it mean? It is having a light cytoplasm and a small nuclei because it remains in an inactive mode. It is not differentiated, it remains inactive. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C. Next question here. The apical meristem of the root is present dash. This is an easy question for you. When we talk about apical meristem, it is present in all the roots. It's not that specific for any particular plant or something like that. The apical meristem is a root. It is of the root and it is present in all the root tips. Apical meristem is a subterminal in position of a growing root tip and it is responsible for the terminal growth of the root in plants. So where is it present? In all the roots, especially the root tips, because we always talk about the terminal part when we talk about apical meristem. Okay, and here you have to remember that when it is growing in the root tips, and it is also responsible for the terminal growth of the root in the plants. Therefore the correct answer is option A. Easy question, right? Next question here. Chlorenchyma is known to develop in dash. What do you mean by chlorenchyma? You have parenchyma. Likewise, now we are going to see about chlorenchyma, right? Chlorenchyma is a tissue that contains chloroplast and it is photosynthetic since it is chloro. Chlorenchyma makes up the mesophyll tissue of the plant leaves and also found in the stems of certain plant tissues or plant species. Okay, so what will be the main function of this chlorenchyma? They carry out photosynthesis and they help in the manufacture of food. It consists of chloroplast, and this is what helps in the photosynthesis and also help in the manufacturing of starch, which is stored in the future use of the plant. So I've given you a clue of what the answer is. So it is a spore capsule of a moss. Chlorenchyma cells are those of parenchymatous cell which contains chloroplast in them. They are the capsule of photosynthesis. So a spore capsule of a moss can perform photosynthesis. Therefore, it is present in the spore capsule of a moss. Therefore, the correct answer is option D. Next question here. Vessels are found in dash. This question was asked in the year 2002. Now, they have simply mentioned vessels. So, you have 4 options there. Angiosperms or gymnosperms, or all angiosperms and gymnosperms are only in pteridophytes. Generally, gymnosperms do not have any vessels. Okay. But few gymnosperms with the vessels of, for example, they have given certain plants. Most of the angiosperms have vessel except a few. So you can take the answer as most of angiosperms and few of gymnosperms. Okay, it is present in both angio and gymno, but not in pteridophytes. But here, predominantly it is present in angiosperms. Gymnosperms, certain plant species of gymnosperms have it. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option B. So here you have the example, Federa, Smilax, all these are examples of gymnosperms which have vessels, and the ones which do not have vessels in angiosperms is Trichodendron. Okay, therefore the correct answer is option B. Next question here. Axillary bud and terminal bud are derived from the activity of dash. So terminal bud is present in the tip while axillary bud somewhere in the between. Now, apical meristem, parenchyma, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. So it should be either of this. Okay, now before that, what do you mean by axillary bud and terminal bud? So I said terminal bud, it is understood. What is the function of the axillary bud? The axillary bud, you can also call it as embryonic or orgogenic shoot that is located in the axil of the leaf. That is why it is called as axillary bud. Okay. Each bud has a potential to form shoots and may be specialized in producing either vegetative shoots or reproductive shoots. Once formed, a bud may remain dormant for some time, or it may even form a shoot immediately. So this is a function. So what is a meristem that will come here? If you see, it will be apical meristem, because we are talking about both the buds here, axillary and terminal. So terminal apical meristem has to come there. If you're only talking about axillary bud, then we have to think about it. Since we are taking both into consideration, you have to think apical meristem is located at the apex of the stem, root and branches, and it forms the axillary and the terminal bud. While if you take intercalary, lateral or parenchyma, if you see, especially intercalary, they take part in linear growth. Lateral meristem occurs parallel to the circumference of the organs, and they increase in the girth of the plant, which we saw already. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option C, apical meristem. Okay, next question here. Which of the following statement is true? Now we have to analyze the statements. Vessels are multicellular with a narrow lumen. Wrong. See, usually vessels will be elongated. Okay, tracheids are multicellular with narrow lumen. Wrong. Vessels are unicellular with a wide lumen, and tracheids are unicellular with a wide lumen. Usually vessels, as I said, they are elongated, so none of them will come under this. And vessels are multicellular, water conducting channels with wide lumen. Okay, therefore the right answer will be tracheids are unicellular with a wide lumen. Okay, so here if you see, tracheids are elongated dead cells with tapering ends having liquefied cells and large or wide lumen. What is the main function? If you see, it will be conducting. What is the function? Conducting of water. Conduction of water takes place, and sometimes you also have minerals from the roots getting transferred to the leaves. So the right answer here is option D, tracheids are unicellular with a wide lumen, because vessels, if you see, they are multicellular but they are elongated. Okay, the correct answer is option D. Next question here. Loading of phloem is related to dash. This is again a very easy question for you, because we already discussed about it in the earlier part, which we did in part 1. So we spoke about two things there. When we talk about phloem, you have to load in sugar and amino acids, right? So what do you think will be the answer now? Yes, the right answer is option A, increase of the sugar in phloem. Phloem is involved in the transport of organic food. According to the mass flow hypothesis, organic substance flow in the form of solution in sieve elements. So that is what we saw. The sugar and the amino acids will be loaded in the sieve elements, and they are very selective in nature. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option A. Next question here. A leaf primordium grows into an adult leaf lamina by means of dash. This is again an easy question which was asked in the year 1998. Now what do you mean by a leaf primordium, or what do you mean by primordium? See, when we talk about the leaf primordia or primordium, whatever you can call it as, they are a group of cells that will form into new leaves. So what do? They give rise to, it gives rise to new leaves. Okay, these new leaves form near the top of the shoot and resemble knobby outgrowths or inverted cones. Flower primordia are the ones which little buds which we see at the end of the stems, from which the flowers will develop. So I've almost given a clue what the answer is. Yes, the right answer is at the first by the apical meristem and later largely by the marginal meristem. A leaf primordium grows into an adult leaf lamina by the means of apical, because apical meristem, as already discussed, they are present in every part of the plant, stem, leaves, or in the roots, everywhere. So that is where this function of apical meristem is contributed for all the functions of the plant. And later the maturation, when it comes into an adult leaf lamina, it is by the marginal meristem. Therefore the correct answer is option D. Next question here. At maturity, which of the following is N-nucleate? This is again an easy question which we've already discussed about it. Yes, the right answer is sieve cell. See, These questions are little repeated ones from the part 1. They are related to it. If you had studied the part 1, this would have been easy for you, because there we already saw N-nucleate is removal, complete removal. We can talk about that also. So here N-nucleate is seen in the sieve cell. At maturity, all physiological functions of the sieve tubes will take place in the, if you remember, we talked about companion cells here. Right, we talked about companion cells. That is what we are talking here also. Since the sieve tube contains, they contain elements, and they lose their nucleus at maturity. So since they lose the nucleus at maturity, or you can say it gets disappeared at the time of maturity. So that is what is the meaning of N-nucleate, and this contributes to the sieve cell, which is present in the companion cells. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Next question here. What is not true about scleroids, or you can say scleroids? It's not scleroids, it's scleroids. So you have 4 options here. This question was asked in the year 1996. So what do you think will be the answer here? What do you mean by scleroids first? Scleroids are small bundles of sclerenchyma tissue in plants that form the durable layer. What layer do they form? They form a durable layer. Okay, and these layers, if you see, the ones that are formed can be such as cores of the apples, the gritty texture of the pears. Scleroids are variable in shape. The cells can be isodermatic, or it can be other shapes which can be exhibited from that. The cell wall fill nearly all the cell's volume. The shell of many seeds, like those that you have in nuts. See, durable is something strong. We can talk like that. So usually we're talking about the durability here. Okay, scleroids are nothing but the sclerenchyma cells which are present inside, which gives the durability for the thing that it contributes to. Now I said the cores in the apples, or the ones that is present in the pear. All these are examples. Apart from that, they are also commonly found in the shells of the nuts, in the pulp of, do you think it's found in the pulp of guava? No, it is not in the pulp of guava. It is found in pears, that is there, but that is not found in pulp of guava, so it will not come. Option C will not be the right answer. So what will be the right answer now? It is cells with thickened lignified walls. Therefore, the correct answer will be option A. Okay. So if you see the next question, which was asked in the year 1993, boarded pits are found in dash. Okay. So basically, what does a pit do in a plant cell? Pits are the characteristic depressions on the cell walls of the plant cells. They act as channels for the transport of water and minerals between adjacent cells. Pits of 2 neighboring cells are usually located opposite to each other, and these opposite cells together will form the pit pair. Now when we talk about boarded pits, you have simple pits, boarded pits, and so on. Boarded pits is nothing but it's a little complex when it comes to a simple pit. Okay. During the development of pits, a secondary wall may overarch with a pit cavity, forming a border. So what is bordered pit? That is, during the development of the pit, the secondary wall, okay, the secondary wall will actually overarch. What does it do? It overarch and forms a border over the cavity. So this is called as bordered pits. So this bordered pits, where it is found? It is found in the vessel wall. The walls of the xylem vessels are lignified, and bordered pits are common in these walls. Therefore, the correct answer to this question is option B. Next question here. Angular collenchyma occurs in dash. Okay. Along with providing mechanical strength, collenchymals provide flexibility. So what is the main function of the collenchyma? They give you flexibility. Okay. Flexibility to the organ and allows the bending. So if you see, when you pull in plants, or when you try to bend it, it obviously does it. So that flexibility comes from the angular collenchyma. And where does it occur? It occurs in cucurbita, which is option A, cucurbita. Okay. Fine. Next question here. An organized and differentiated cellular structure having cytoplasm but no nucleus is dash. This is again another question which is easy actually. Okay, you have 4 options here: vessels, xylem, parenchyma, and all that. Now we already discussed about this. Is an easy question for you, because we saw There is a stage or there is a cell during which the nucleus will disappear. Okay, nuclear will disappear at the time of maturity. Where did we see? We saw it in companion cells exclusively in sieve elements. If you remember that, it will be easy for you to answer now. Yes, the correct answer is option C, sieve tubes. Internally, sieve tubes possess a peripheral layer of the cytoplasm and they are devoid of nucleus. Why? Because after it gets enucleated or once during the matured form is formed, the nucleus will disappear at the time of maturity. So that is what is resembling here. Therefore, the correct answer is option C. Next question here. Collenchyma occurs in dash. Collenchyma, we already discussed what is collenchyma, right? So what is collenchyma? Like sclerenchyma, this is also another cell that is found. But to be more precise or more particular, what is it? It is a tissue that is strengthened by thickening of the cell wall, and it is mostly prevalent in the young shoots. Okay. Collenchyma is a cell or a tissue type in which the primary walls are unevenly thickened and consist of a homogeneous, more or less elongated living cells, and it provides mechanical support to the plant. And this collenchyma occurs more abundantly in the climbing stems to provide mechanical strength. Therefore, the correct answer is option C. Because the climbing stems, if you see, they will not have much support. They don't have a proper shoot system. As it climbs, it needs support. So that mechanical strength will be given by collenchyma. Okay, next question here. For union between the stalk and the scion in grafting, which one is the first to occur? So we already discussed what is grafting. No. See, in grafting, union between stalk and the scion produces undifferentiated mass, okay, of cells called as callus. And we all know grafting is a method of plant propagation widely used in horticulture, where the tissues of one plant are encouraged to fuse with those of another. It is most commonly used in propagation of trees and shrubs grown commercially. Grafting is limited to dicots and gymnosperms. Monocots, actually, since they lack the vascular system, they are actually cambium required. So here, what does it contain? It contains, or it is first to occur in the formation of callus. Okay, the correct answer is option A. So whatever I explained is to your right side. You don't have to, confuse. So grafting, you have to remember, it is an important plant propagation widely used in horticulture. Okay, therefore the correct answer to this question is option A. So with this, we complete the part 2 of anatomy of flowering plants. Hope to meet you in the next part of the same chapter. Thank you.